Hi, welcome to your long asana practice for May. We're focusing on gratitude as our theme this month. For this practice, you probably want 2 blocks. And if you have the option of soft blocks, use those. If you only have more firm, say wood blocks, you might also have a blanket handy so that when we get to using them for one of our restorative poses, you can use a blanket over the blocks. If blocks are not in your home studio, you can probably also use a big pillow, bolster, or couch cushion for our last pose as well. So let's start in a seated position. Bow the chin slightly, close the eyes, and just begin to become aware of your breath. Following the rise and fall of your breath. Beginning to create equal length inhales and exhales. And finding the pause at the top and at the bottom of each breath. And allowing yourself to linger there until your body spontaneously initiates the next inhale or exhale. Letting everything within your being slow down. And as the breath pauses, let the mind pause as well. Feel gravity firmly supporting you. Notice your heart beating. Feeling the heart beating in the palms, in the soles of your feet, in the crown of your head. Feeling your lungs as they breathe themselves. Feeling the air surrounding you on all 4 sides. And feeling a sense of gratitude for all these things. Softly open your eyes, letting your gaze be slightly unfocused. As you inhale, sweep the arms out either side, look up and lift your heart. And as you exhale, bring hands to knee, curl the belly button to the spine, arching the back. Inhale, open wide, lift up. Exhale, fold in, curl. Continuing this movement with your breath, luxuriating in each movement of your spine. A couple more rounds. And exhale, bring your hands to your knees. Go ahead and take your right hand to your left knee. Bring your left hand slightly behind you. Use an inhale to create some height. And as you exhale, twist towards the left, looking back over your left shoulder. Another couple breaths here. Use an exhale to slowly come back to center. Elongate with an inhale and exhale to the other side. Right hand behind, left hand to the right knee. And use an exhale to turn back to center. Let's take our right hand out to the side. Walk the fingers like little spider legs. Reach your left hand out, palm up, and exhale. Bring that left arm over to the right. Shrug the shoulders down the back. Gaze towards that upper elbow. Inhale, come up, arms straight out from the shoulders, and exhale, come to the other side. Keeping the shoulders down the back, keeping that structure in the ears separate from the shoulders. And inhale, come up. Bring your feet straight out in front of you, and then take your left leg and bring it in towards you. If it's in your practice, set the sole of your foot in the crook of your right elbow and wrap the knee in the crook of your left elbow. Bring the shin parallel to the earth and just slowly rock that foot to the right and to the left. And you may not have it in the crooks of your elbows like I do. You may be holding your knee and your foot in your hand, and that's fine. Just giving it a little rock here. And then really press that sole of your foot to the right as far as you can. You can even let go with the crook of the elbow and holding on with the hands. Bring it just as far over as you can. Curl those left toes towards your knee. And exhale, bring it back and set it down. Let's pick up the right leg, same thing. See if you can cradle it in the crooks of your elbow or hold it with your hands and just rock the leg, just the leg, to the left and to the right, keeping the shin parallel to the earth. And then go ahead and hold on to the hand and the knee, and then bring that heel as far as you can to the left. Curl the toes towards the knee. Keep the shin parallel to the floor. And exhale. Go ahead and bring it back and set it down. Make some circles with your ankles. I'll move so you can see me. And switch directions. Then spread your toes wide and flex and extend the feet. Set your heels down, rest on your palms, and bring your feet hip distance or less apart. Flex the toes back towards you. And as you exhale, slowly push the left heel away from you. Sliding the heel out, keep that ankle flexed. And then bring it back to neutral. On your next exhale, slide the right leg out. And inhale it to neutral. And just move once more side to side. Doing both sides one more time. Rock the feet back. Turn your fingertips to face your toes. Bring your feet in, bending the knees. Feet are going to be hip distance apart. And as you inhale, come up into an upward table. Bring your hips and belly towards the sky. Internally rotate your shoulders. And exhale, come down to the mat. Turn the fingers behind you again. Rest your left ankle right above your right knee. Press that left knee away and flex the left toes towards the left knee. Keep that press in a seated pigeon. And then exhale, bring the left foot to the mat. Take the right leg, same thing. Press the right knee away. Let the toes curl towards that right knee. And when that feels complete, go ahead and let that go. Bring your legs around to the side, coming into a tabletop, and then lifting off into your downward facing dog. Just noticing some things about your down dog. Feet are about hip distance apart. If you look back through your calves, your shins, you should see a triangle or a rectangle. Press as far away from the earth as you can through the hands. And then keeping the length in the arm, nestle your arm bones into your armpits and roll them in slightly. Inner spiral your thighs and press your sit bones high and up behind you, kind of back and up. Stretch your ears away from your shoulders. Let the ears line up between the arms. And take the front of your hips and kind of corset them to the midline and then extend the corset up toward your heart, elongating your transverse abdominis. And then go ahead and walk your feet to your hands. Coming into your forward fold, rock your hips over your heels and then come down. Let your head hang heavy. Soften your knees, press down through all four corners of your feet. As you press into the earth, you'll feel the energy reverberate up the back of your legs, feeling as though the back of your legs are lengthening. And then let the energy sort of waterfall over your back, drawing you deeper into your fold. Inhale, come to a halfway lift, really stretching out of the hips. Neck follows the trajectory of the spine. Imagine that imaginary ballet bar right in the crease of your hips. So when you forward fold again, you're going to take the skin of your belly back towards your spine and wrap it around that bar, deeply folding. Bend the knees, inhale, reach the arms all the way overhead, bring palms to touch. I'm going to turn, you can stay the way that you are. Interlace your fingers, let your index fingers point towards the sky. Bring the big toe sides of your feet together. Shrug the shoulders down the back. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, half moon to the right, keeping your shoulders and your hips parallel with the front of your mat. Kind of letting that left armpit open up a little towards the sky like you're going to catch raindrops in it. Take your left waist, use an inhale to see if you've got any more length you can gain there, and as you exhale, come more deeply into your half moon. And use an inhale to come up. Find some length and exhale, come to the other side. Opening that right armpit up towards the sky just a little bit. And inhale, come up. We're going to do a little vinyasa. Bring your palms to touch. And as you exhale and come into your forward fold, take your joined hands and touch the thumbs behind the head, to the heart, and to the mat. Plant your hands. As you inhale, step the right foot a long step back, and then the left. Hold on the inhale in your plank pose, and as you exhale, drop your knees, chin, and chest to the mat. Elbows along your sides. As you inhale, come into cobra. Low or high, your choice. Exhale, curl the toes under and come into your downward facing dog. Inhale, without stretching it back, step the right foot forward. Exhale, the left foot forward. And inhale, bring the arms straight in front of you and bring the hands to touch overhead. Exhale, bring the hands behind the head, to the heart, and to the mat. Plant the hands. Inhale, long step back with the left foot. Exhale, long step back with the right foot. Hold and plank on your inhale. Exhale, your knees, chin, and chest to the earth. Inhale into a cobra. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Inhale the left foot forward. Exhale the right foot forward. And inhale, come all the way up. Hands are joined. Exhale, touch behind to the heart. into the earth as you come into your forward fold. Plant the hands. Inhale the right foot back. Exhale the left foot back. Hold and plank on your inhale. Exhale, knees, chin, and chest to the mat. Inhale, come into cobra, toenails come to the earth. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the right foot forward. Exhale, the left foot forward. And inhale, arms come all the way overhead. And one more time, exhale, come down into your forward fold. Inhale, step the left foot back. Exhale, the right foot back. Hold. Bring knees, chin, and chest to the earth. Use your inhale to come into cobra. Exhale into down dog. Inhale, bring the left foot forward. Exhale, bring the right foot forward. And inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, bring hands to heart. Let's go ahead and pause in mountain pose. If you can close the eyes, close the eyes. If you need to spread your feet a little more apart so that you have balance with the eyes closed, go ahead and take the time to do that. Line up all the diaphragmatic muscles in the body like parasails that move together with your breath. The soles of your feet, pelvic floor, your diaphragm, your vocal cords, and the tentorium, which separates the lower and upper brain. Feel everything just ebb and flow with the breath. And then go ahead and softly open your eyes. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. And as you exhale, let's come down the same way. Joined hands touch behind to the heart and to the mat. Take a long step back with your right foot. That back foot should be at about a 45-degree angle. Bend the front knee over the little toe side of the foot. Inhale, bring arms to your hips. And find your stance before we come all the way up. Check to make sure you see your big toe. Bring your hips in line with the front of your mat. You might want to take that back leg and inner spiral it just a little bit. Make sure your spine's pretty neutral. If it's not, bend the back knee. Take your hand to your belly and lower back. Find some straightening there. And then re-lower that back foot and straighten the knee. But find your setup. Femur bones are pulling nice and solidly into the socket. Shoulders are parallel with the front of the mat. Inhale, bring the little fingers towards each other as you internally rotate the arms and bring them overhead. Take the belly button towards the heart. Feel the front of the body elongate. And feel an imaginary hand between your shoulder blades, gently lifting your heart. Check that front knee. Get a nice 90-degree angle there. Take a couple breaths here. And then exhale, bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, shrug your back or your shoulders back and down. And as you exhale, lift your heart, look up, bring your joined hands towards the mat. Use an inhale to straighten slightly, and as you exhale, come into humble warrior on the inside of that front leg, lifting your arms off your back as far as your shoulders will allow. Bring your hands down to the mat on the inside of that front leg, and then turn about 45 degrees and walk your hands like spider fingers off the edge of your mat. Let your hips settle over your heels. Ears are between the arms. Shrug the shoulders down from the ears. And then go ahead and walk your hands back on the inside of that front leg. Turn the back toes forward. So we're into a lizard pose. Find your low lunge. Just let your knees melt away from one another. Press that back heel towards the wall. And then go ahead and gently drop the back knee to the mat. You should have a nice long extended back leg. If you need to extend it more, come back up on the knee and then stretch the leg out and bring it down. And you can put a blanket under the knee, or you can double your mat longwise and fold that under the knee. And then let your knees melt away from one another. Let that left knee touch the left tricep. Gaze is forward. And you can stay like this, or if it's in your practice, come down to your forearms. You can also bring a block under your forearms. And let that left leg be generally moving towards your left arm. A long neck and a soft jaw. You can turn those back toes to the mat. It's going to give you a little more stretch in that right leg. Couple more breaths. And then use an inhale to come up on the hand, curl those toes back under. Bring the left hand on the outside of the left foot, and then let's bring that left foot across the mat to set up for pigeon. Keeping your hands on the mat, take that left knee to the edge of your mat. And then bring your hips so that they're kind of evenly spaced from the floor, and pull your right hip forward, your left hip back so that they're even to the front of your mat. Starting by just coming up on your hands, you can even come up on your fingertips, face hips and shoulders forward. And if this is a lot on your hips, you can place a bolster or a couch bolster underneath this left leg and give yourself, you could also take your block there, actually too. It's not quite my favorite way to do it, but if it's what you have handy, then that's okay too. Give yourself a little bit of support there. And if it feels okay, go ahead and come forward. Come onto your forearms, maybe cross the forearms along with the edge of your mat and rest your head on the back of your hands. Make sure that you've got some length to the arms so that when you come down, you're not bunched up in the shoulders. Make sure the back of your neck is nice and expansive. Taking a few breaths here. And use an inhale to press up. Curl the right toes under. Come back on that foot. Lift that left leg high behind you. And set it down. Pressing into your down dog. And go ahead and walk your feet to your hands. Coming into a forward fold. Bend the knees slightly. Reach the arms in front of you like you're lifting a beach ball all the way overhead. Bring your palms to touch. And exhale. Come back down to the mat. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Stretching long out of the hips. Fold over that imaginary bar. And take a long step back with the left foot. Set up for warrior one, bringing your hands to your hips. Set up all the components. Hips are coming towards the front of the mat. Knee over the little toe side of the foot. Kind of inner spiral this back leg. A long torso. And as you inhale, bring the pinkies towards each other and up. Making sure that your lumbar spine feels neutral. And find your pose. Feel that imaginary hand lift your heart. And exhale. Bring your hands behind you, interlace the fingers, shrug the shoulders back and down. Lift your heart on an inhale towards the sky. Keep that front knee bent over the front ankle. Use an inhale to straighten the torso, and as you exhale, come into humble warrior. Press the palms together. And bring your hands down on the inside of that front foot. Turn the back foot forward. Find your lunge, kind of walk that back leg back if you need to. Take a couple breaths here. Press that left heel towards the wall behind you. And then exhale, drop that left knee to the mat. Let your knees melt one from another. Putting something under the knee if you require it. And then if you're comfortable, come down onto a block or to the earth, onto your forearms. You can let those black toenails come to the mat. And let your right knee kind of move in the general direction of your right arm. Keeping it from splaying out to the side. And then use an inhale to slowly come up. Bring your right hand to the outside of the foot and slowly bring that right foot across so that you can set your right leg down for pigeon. You line up your right knee with the outside of your mat. Come down onto that back leg. And you might be built such that your front shin can be parallel with the front of the mat, or be probably more like me where there's an angle to that front leg, and that's okay. Let your hips become equidistant from the earth and equidistant from the front of your mat. Kind of pull the right hip back, left hip forward just a little bit. And then press up onto your hands for a moment, settling in. And then go ahead and come down, maybe letting your forearms come down on the edge of the mat, stacking one on the other, resting your forehead on the back of your arms or your hands. Shrug the shoulders down your back, a nice long neck. A couple more breaths. And go ahead and press back up on your hands. And even with the wonderful editing powers of video, it would not be easy to paste this in earlier. So you may have noticed that I forgot to do our 45-degree angle stretch on this side. So we have to do it so that we're not whopper jawed. So curl those back toes under and lift off. And bring that right foot back to the mat. Set the back foot down at a 90-degree angle and bring your hands on the inside of that right foot and then come about 45 degrees out and walk your hands in front, ears between your arms. Let your hips be over the heels or in line with the heels. Bring a stretch here. Okay, now we feel better. Bring the hands back on either side of that front foot. All feet are facing forward. Lift that right leg off the mat. Stretch it high behind you and set it down, coming into your downward facing dog. And go ahead and drop your knees to the mat. Knees can be together or apart for child's pose. Turn your toenails to the mat and press back. Sit bones are coming down to the heels. Rest on your forehead. And your arms can either be extending in front of you, or you can reach them along your sides with your palms up by your feet. This I find to be a little more comfortable if your lower back's giving you any sensations that are uncomfortable. But regardless of which variation you choose, let your forehead rest on the earth. And as you rest your forehead on the earth, empty the mind. Imagine your mind like a room in your home. And if you become a hoarder and you store things there and never let them go, past hurts, worries about things you've done, worries about things that could happen, if you leave all of that in there, nothing new can enter in. So let it all go. Let it just drain from your forehead into the earth, leaving in its wake a nice, clean room, completely open and spacious, ready to allow the next present moment to enter in. Relax your face. Let the skin fall away from the muscle and bone beneath it. And then if your arms are along your sides, go ahead and stretch them in front of you and rock just a little so you can curl your toes. As you inhale, start to rise up on your knees as you sweep the arms overhead and bring palms to touch. As you exhale, lower your forehead to the mat as you stack your palms facing up on the small of your back. Nice and slow, each movement aligned with your breath. One more time. And this time, go ahead and come up. And let your arms come down to your sides. Make your way to a tabletop position. Bring the knees underneath the hips, wrist underneath the shoulders. As you inhale, reach your right arm out like you're going to shake hands with somebody in front of you. Nestle that arm into your shoulder and then lift your left leg straight out. Point the little toes on that back leg straight towards the earth, flexing the ankle. And then as you inhale, bend the knee, keep the energy in that back leg. Turn the right palm to the outside and arc it all the way back. Take the ankle on the little toe side of the foot and try to bring your shoulders in line with the front of your mat. Lift that back leg, gazes forward. And inhale, lengthen, bring that leg straight, and exhale to the mat. And let's come to the other side. Inhale, bring that left arm out, and bring the right leg straight out from your body. Turn the little toes towards the floor. Inhale, bend the knee, turn the hand, reach it all the way around. Take the inside of that foot, lifting the leg, shoulders towards the front of the mat, finding your balance here. And exhale, re-extend to the mat. Make a circle with your hips to the left. And to the right. Come back to your tabletop position. And then pressing into the toes, go ahead and lift the back of the body, coming into your downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths here. Setting yourself up. Noticing each muscle as you arrange it. And on an exhale, walk your feet to your hands Coming to the front of your mat. And inhale, come all the way up. Bring the arms overhead. Gaze towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers. Point the index fingers towards the sky. Ears in line with the arms. Inhale high, and as you exhale, press your hips forward as you open up into a heart opener. And inhale towards the sky. As you exhale, bring your hands to your sides. Turn towards the long end of your mat and take a long step across. Bring your feet parallel to one another, and then bring your toes actually in just a little, so that you're a little pigeon-toed. Optimally, if you raise your arms out from your shoulders, your ankles are gonna be below your wrists, no further than that. They might be a little less than that, depending on your bony structure and how you're feeling today. Take the front of the pubic bone and just tilt it slightly behind your belly button so that you feel you have a nice neutral spine. But find your star to start with. Drop the shoulders down the back, pull the shoulder blades together, tuck the chin slightly, take a couple breaths here. And as you inhale, feel the breath come up through the soles of your feet and reaching all the way to the fingertips and the crown of your head and the tip of your nose. And as you exhale, let it go. One more. And we'll do a little vinyasa here. I'm gonna move my blocks out of the way. If your blocks are right in front of you on that long side of the mat, you might move them as well. So as we exhale, we're going to take our right hand midway between the feet and let our left arm reach towards the sky. As we inhale, we're going to reach our left arm forward and look at that hand. As we exhale, we're going to reach it up and look at the hand. And as we inhale, we're going to come up. And we'll do that a couple times doing both the left and the right side. So as you exhale, left arm down, right arm up. Inhale, look forward, reach forward. Exhale, look up, reach up. And inhale, come up. Exhale, right arm down, left arm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, look and reach up. And inhale, come up. Exhale, left arm down, right arm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, look and reach up. And inhale, come up. Bring your hands to your hips. And as we come down, we're going to come down looking at whatever's in front of us, the wall on the other side of the room, and lead with the heart. So pivoting from the hips, come down, look forward, let the heart continue to lead, and then only look down when you come all the way to the mat. Hands will be in line with the feet. If you can, rock a little bit forward to the balls of your feet and drop the crown of your head to the earth. That may not be in your practice, that's okay. You can also take a block on any setting and put it there so that you can rest on that as well. Just try to keep a long, expansive neck. Some things that can help in this pose. One is to inner spiral the legs to create some space in the sacrum and in the SI joint. And then also your muscles work together. So if you're feeling this in your hamstrings, micro bend the knees and also contract and engage the muscles on the front of your thighs, in your quads. And then by doing that, you might enable the hamstrings to release a little bit. Taking a few breaths here. And on an inhale, press up and come into the equivalent of a wide leg tabletop position. Feel yourself sturdy and grounded. And go ahead and bring your hands to your hips and come up the way you went down. Shrug your shoulders towards your back, lead with your heart, look at the far wall, and come all the way up. Take your right foot and point it towards the short end of your mat. Bring your arms straight out and look towards your right fingertips. Keep this left hip open during this version of triangle pose. And imagine that there's a wall behind you and the little toe side of your right foot, your left heel, your buttocks and your shoulders are against the wall. Find this crease in your hip right here and press your fingertips into it. And as you come forward, kind of loop over those fingertips and then re-extend that right arm. Really reaching, and then keep this left hip turned towards the wall. Keep that left buttock on the wall. And bring your arms away from one another. Keep the hip open. You can rest your hand on your leg as long as it's not your knee or on a prop. And take that gluteus medius in the left back pocket area right here and use that to externally rotate that hip. Gaze towards the upper hand. Shoulder blades are retracting in this pose. And inhale, come up. Turn the right toes forward and turn the left foot towards the back of the mat. Elongate, find that imaginary wall behind you. Line up against it. You might need to take that pubic bone and tilt it towards a little behind the belly button. Elongate, feel the dent right here in your hip, the crease. Lean around it. Re-extend that arm. Really reach and exhale. Gaze up. Keep this hip open. In this variation of the pose, we're not going to bring that left hand to the floor and sacrifice the opening in the hips. Shoulder blades retract. Find a steadiness in the pose. And inhale, come up, turn both feet forward, and just heel toe your feet together. Bring your arms back to the sides. Let's come back to the front of the mat. Bring your hands on your hips and step your right foot back 3/4 of the way as far as you normally would for Warrior One. Feet turned as much forward towards the front of your mat as you can and keep your balance. Inhale, bring the arms overhead, and exhale, bring your hands behind your back. And I'm going to show you in the front what I'm doing behind my back. Into a prayer position and then flip the palms up towards your head. If your body resists this procedure, you can also take your palms onto your back and let the fingers be facing towards your head. Take a nice deep inhale and breathe your shoulders and your elbows behind you. Lengthen, and as you exhale, come into stargazers, gazes towards the sky. Let the chin tuck slightly so that you're not just throwing your head back. And as you inhale, straighten. And exhale, come back down over that front leg. Lift the shoulders and the elbows off the back. And then take the left hand and place it on the small of your back with the palm up. Walk your right fingers in front of you. As you inhale, slowly rise as you sweep that right arm all the way overhead. Open the heart at the top just like you did in Stargazers. Bring the shoulders and elbows behind. And exhale. Slowly make your way back down. And just continue with your breath. You might notice this is a little bit of the warm-up routine we did in the short practice, letting our heart open and introducing some movement. Now we'll do 4 total on this side. And exhale down. Bring your left hand to the mat and put your weight on your hands as you switch the feet. So the left foot's back, the right foot's forward. And as you inhale, bring the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, palms together in the back. Flip the palms, shrug shoulders and elbows back. Inhale, create length in your spine. And as you exhale, come into your stargazers. Letting the heart lift, collarbones broadening, shoulder blades are retracting. And inhale, straighten. Exhale, come over that front leg. If you need to bend the knee, do. Lift the shoulders and elbows off the back. And then set the right hand on the small of the back, palm up. Walk the left fingers in front. Do that same movement 4 times. Inhaling, lifting up, shoulders coming back, elbows reaching behind you. And exhale, come down. More gracefully than that little move right there. And use your breath to enable the movement. Inhale, fill the lungs, enabling you to lift. And as you exhale, empty the belly so that you can deeply fold. A couple more times. If you're not quite at the same pace I am, that's perfectly fine. Come all the way down to the mat. And then go ahead and bring both hands to the mat. Step the back foot forward and roll all the way up. Let's go ahead and come down to the mat, coming to a seated position with our legs in front of us. Take your left foot and cross it over your right so that your left toes are in line with that right knee. Interlacing your fingers around the left knee, create some length. Nice and long through the spine. Then take your right hand and take hold of the big toe of that left foot. And as you inhale, twist to the left, opening your left arm out behind you as you lift that left leg and press the heel away from you. Look back over your hand. Place your left hand on the mat and gently bring that left leg towards you. Maybe keeping the knee straight, maybe bending the knee a little bit. Exhale, set the left foot down on the outside of that right leg. Inhale, bring that right arm up. Open your heart. Stretch away from the shoulder. And as you exhale, take your lower ribs to the left. The tricep of that right arm comes to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, lengthen. And with each exhale, take your ribs bottom to top around in your twist. Shrug the left shoulder back. Bring that right palm so that the fingers are facing the sky, palms facing away from you. Close your eyes and take your gaze to the leftmost corners of your eyes. Let your neck be elongated and soft. Feeling the energy moving through your body. Noticing the right side of the body and the left side of the body. And finding the energy seam between the two. Remembering that the right side of your body is the yang side and the left is the yin. Right is Pingala, or Pingala, and the left is Ida. The right is sun, the left is moon. Noticing the differences between the two. And on an exhale, slowly turn forward. And let's go ahead and switch the legs. Take the right leg and cross it over the left. Interlace your fingers around that right knee. Create some nice length in the body. And then take hold of your right toe with your left hand. And as you inhale, sweep the right arm behind you as you lift that leg off the mat. Press through the right heel towards the space in front of you. Look back over the right fingertips. Exhale, bring the right hand right behind your tailbone, fingers facing behind you, and gently pull the right leg towards you. You can bend the knee if you need to. Nice little stretch on the back of the leg. Feel it in the hamstring and the gastrocnemius. Exhale, slowly set the right foot down, the outside of the left leg. Inhale, bring that left arm up. Let your collarbones reach towards the sky. And as you exhale, start your twist to the right, starting at the lower ribs first. Taking the left tricep on the outside of that right leg. Shrug the right shoulder back. Each inhale lengthening, each exhale slowly coming around in your twist. Long neck, let the shoulders draw down towards the earth. And closing your eyes, take your gaze to the rightmost corners of your eyes. Feeling the lower half of your body grounded and heavy, earthen. And feel the upper half of your body light, expansive, reaching towards the universe. Notice that energetic seam between the two. Feeling the two coexist. Use an exhale and slowly turn forward, bringing both legs out in front of you. And let's take the left leg and tuck the heel into the V of our legs. Right leg is coming straight out in front of you. It's parallel with the long end of your mat. Take your hands to your hips and just give a little push so that you create an even deeper attachment of that left foot into the V of your legs. Inhale, bring your arms overhead, interlace the fingers and flip the palms, and just give a nice long side stretch to either side. And then as you exhale, turn your belly button towards the right foot and slowly come down. And let your back remain kind of nice and flat, so not rounded. Let your shoulder blades retract. And each inhale, stretch your head towards your toes. Each exhale, feel yourself melting towards the earth, heart first. Just a continual movement with the energy of inhaling and elongating towards the foot, exhaling, dropping towards the earth. If you can bring your hands around your feet. That may or may not be in your practice. Your hands may be along your leg, and that's fine, or even on the earth. But find what's in your practice today. And then use an inhale to walk your hands back towards your body. Take your left hand behind, or kind of next to your left hip. And as you inhale, come up onto that left shin as you come into a modified flying butterfly. Reach the right arm out to the side, shrink the right shoulder towards the mat. And exhale, slowly rotate the arm back and come down. Let's go ahead and switch the legs. Left leg is in front, and we're going to nestle the right heel into the V of our legs. Bring your hands behind our hips, just push a little forward, nestle that foot a little more deeply. Let that left leg come straight out, parallel with the long end of your mat. Inhale, interlace the fingers, flip the palms, bring the arms overhead, and elongate both side bodies. Turn your belly button towards that left foot and exhale. Slowly come down. Each inhale, bring the crown of your head to the foot. Each exhale, let your heart drop towards the earth. You may have your hands interlaced around the foot. Your hands may be along your leg. If you feel your leg shuddery, release the knee just a little bit. If your hamstrings are tight, again, soften and release the knee just a little bit. And energetically, let this pose stay dynamic, a continual lengthening and relaxing. And use an inhale to walk your hands back towards your body. Take your right hand a little behind the right hip, and as you inhale, come back into that modified flying butterfly. And exhale. Reverse the arc and come down. Go ahead and bring your feet to the mat and then roll back, coming all the way to your mat. And you can rock from side to side, you can rock up and back. But move, maybe you can even make circles with the hips, but move in whatever way sounds appealing right now. If you're doing anything that has a direction to it, make sure to go both directions. And then find some stillness, wrap your arms around your knees, and spreading the toes wide, flex and extend the feet. And then let's go ahead and bring our feet to the mat. About hip distance apart, hands are along our sides, palms on the earth. As you inhale, slowly lift your hips off the mat as you sweep your arms towards the sky and then all the way to the floor behind you, the back of your hands landing on the floor. And while you're here, pause for a minute, bring your feet parallel to one another. And then reverse the action with your exhale. Slowly lower vertebra by vertebra as you sweep your arms back to the mat. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhaling, come up, arms come all the way overhead. And exhale, coming back to the mat. Move at the pace of your breath. Luxuriate in your movement. And when you come down that final time, turn your palms towards the ceiling and work your shoulders a little more underneath your back. Feet are parallel to one another. And then I want you to imagine that you have marionette strings midway between your knee and the V of your legs on the inside of your thighs. As you inhale, use that marionette string to lift your hips off the mat. Slightly roll your thighs inward. Press your heels from one another. If you want to interlace your fingers underneath, you can. Bring the shoulders even a little more underneath your back. And let your heart chase your chin and let your head kind of turn towards the wall behind you, keeping your neck soft. Press into the arms and the feet. Taking a few breaths here. Let the front of your belly be long. Draw your belly button towards your heart. And then keep your arms where they're at and slowly lower your sit bones on top of your hands. Allow your shoulders a nice little stretch here. And then lift up just enough to take your hands out and then lower down. Find your block. And let's take the block on the lowest setting and place it underneath our sit bones. Find yourself comfortable on the block and then bring your left knee in towards your left shoulder. Extend the right leg. Really grow heavy into that right leg. Pull the left knee towards the shoulder. Take a breath here. And then take your right hand around the bottom of the foot so that your left hand's going to push the knee away. Your right hand's going to pull the foot towards you so that hopefully you end up so that that lower half of your leg is parallel with the front of your mat, and you're going to lift the heel up so that it's parallel with the earth. And then bring that foot to the right a little bit. Curl the toes toward your knee till you feel a nice lighting up here on the outside of your thigh, activating the IT band. And exhale, bring it in, set the foot down, draw the right foot in. And let's go to the other side. Bring that right knee towards your right shoulder, extend the left leg, take a few breaths here, sinking into the left psoas. And then let's come into the typewriter pose on this side. Left hand's going to come around the bottom of the foot. Right hand's going to push the knee. Left hand's going to pull the foot towards you. Bring the shin parallel to the floor and the front of your mat and curl the toes towards the knee. Keeping the heel off the floor, bring that foot towards the left side of your mat. And exhale, bring it in. Set it down and bring that other foot in. Take the block out from underneath you and take your tailbone towards the end of your mat. Lay your spine down, vertebra by vertebra. Bring your feet mat distance apart. Bring your arms out to the sides or cactus your arms. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, let your knees fall to the right as you gaze to the left. And inhale, bring the knees up. Exhale, turn to the right as you let your knees fall to the left. And inhale, bring the legs back up. Bring your feet together and roll either side really and press yourself up. And we're going to end with a little heart opener here. Take your blocks and place them on the mat so that they're about 10 inches or so apart, both on the middle setting. And you may need to change them, but we'll start with this as kind of our base setting. So we're going to sit facing away from the blocks and let the soles of our feet come together like we would for Baddha Konasana or for butterfly if we were doing yin. We're going to start to come back, and you want this first block to hit right at the edge of your shoulder blades and the second block to come underneath your head. So find a place where it's comfortable. You might have to bring the block up or down a little, but generally it's going to kind of grab about where your bra strap would go, for example. And this top block under your head, you might want to turn it to the tallest setting if you need to feel comfortable. But you should feel comfortable in this pose. So the feet are together, knees to either side. If this is a stretch on your groin muscles and it's not going to be comfortable, go ahead and just let your legs come straight out in front of you. Let the heels relax, the toes fall away from one another. And for some people, it's never completely comfortable to have this block going horizontally. If you're one of those folks, turn it, if you can see behind me, turn this block vertical so that it's following your spine. And try it that way. But find a comfortable position. And we'll stay here for a couple minutes. Allow yourself to relax. Feel your body just molding itself around the blocks. And if you're using wood blocks, you can put a blanket over the blocks to give them a little extra padding. If you don't have blocks and you're using a bolster, just let it line up behind you and lay back over it. Just let yourself drape your shoulders to the left and the right, palms facing the sky. Relax your face, feeling your whole head become heavy. Continue to relax in the pose. At the end of this pose, you can either choose to settle into Shavasana for 5 to 10 minutes, gently pressing yourself up with your forearms, removing the blocks and lying back down in a comfortable position. Or you can follow this with one of your Yoga Nidra meditations and still move the blocks and then position all your props so that you're completely comfortable before you start your audio recording. Namaste.